Hello, my name is Javier Cabezas. I'm one of the high school math coaches here at Henrico County. I want to say welcome to the 2020-21 school year. We're beginning online for the first 9 weeks, and so we wanted to provide you as a math team with a getting to know you activity that utilizes Desmos as a platform. Since there are many choice board activities throughout the year that'll be on this platform, we thought it might be helpful for you to see how you might edit one, just in case you're looking to do something with your students that's not math focused, but still exposes them to something that they're going to use throughout the year while you get to know them and build those relationships in the first week of the school year. So what the math team has done, we took a Desmosified version of Sarah Vanderwerf's name tense activity. This is a teacher out of Minnesota who has been doing this for years in person. Another teacher, Kristen Faust, edited them, and then we further edited them into a template. So we have created an editable copy of HCPS math name tense. And what I'm going to do in today's video is just walk through how to edit this activity to customize it for you and your students. Then I'm going to show you how to assign it to students and also how to preview it as a student so that you can see what they would see, as well as just a couple little pacing tips and then offering some feedback. So the first few minutes is going to be how to actually edit the activity. I'm going to get myself out of the way since you need to see the website and not me. Put me in the bottom corner over here. The first thing, this URL you should have, which you can modify, but you'll need to sign in to do that. So I just click sign in with Google. It'll log me into my Henrico account, which you can now see in the top right corner here. I'm logged in as Javier Cabezas, Henrico email address. And I decide that, yes, I do want to use this in the first week to get to know my students. So to edit an activity, the first thing you need to do is click these three dots in the top right. Copy and edit. That will take you to a new screen. This is the activity builder side of Desmos. So lots of ugly looking things that eventually end up being a pretty looking thing on the student side. Have no fear about this. If you've never been in an activity builder before, I'm just going to show you the slides that you need to customize, which you'll see there are light bulbs on those slides. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that here in just a minute. The very first thing to know is that you cannot harm the template that we just created. This is now a copy of that activity. You'll want to edit the name of the activity because this is what your students see when you assign them. So for me, I'm going to just call this Mr. Cabezas Get to Know You Math Name Tense. That'll be what my students see when I eventually assign them this activity. I don't really want them to see copy of something else. So that's the first thing I'd urge you to do. Then what I said was the light bulbs have different customizable spots. And so in general, those are teacher tips right here. So you'll see a green button if it has a light bulb on it. The first one is just about facilitating in general this very first screen and a recommended pacing set. And then I know it says to customize this screen, but it's actually future screens. If you want, you can click the checkbox that says show students their classmates' responses when there's a text input. I'll highlight what that is talking about as we get to this side, slides 8 through 12 in the activity. So we recommend screen 1, maybe while students are filling out this name tag, just have them paste here. Screens 2 through 6, maybe you paste them one at a time, maybe you're walking through it, or maybe you just leave those open for students to complete on their own. It's just telling them what they're going to do today and asking them to upload a photo. And then screen 7, they're going to tell you 5 facts about themselves. And the way that name tense works is that they do one of these each day and you provide feedback overnight. So they're just questions to get to know students, and overnight you might respond, or between class sessions, that's so cool, I like summer too. Or, oh, that's so great that you play sports, hope that your season starts soon, or whatever the case might be. What a wonderful instrument, whatever. You guys know what to do to build those relationships. So I'll walk through what those are, but at the end, we recommend pacing one at a time and providing that feedback. I'll show you that from once we create it. I'll make a student entry and then show you how you comment as a teacher. So let me go ahead and hit done with that and just show you what you can edit here. So the first thing, slide 4, it says computation layer controls the note. So I'm going to preview this. This is what slide 4 says. The students will see, what are we doing today? Tell me. And this big note, it will populate their name automatically based on something that they would have filled in on slide 2. And so this would say Javier during the first week of school, blah, 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 blah. This might be a lot of information for you. If you don't want to have this big of a note or you want to edit the note, you just come in here, click the green button, and it says feel free to alter the purple text below. So anything you do here in purple, you can change out. So if you don't want that big paragraph, shorter directions. I hit preview, tell me, you'll see that shorter directions has shown up. I'm going to set it back to what I had it as. Again, you're not affecting anybody else's template. This is your own personal one, so don't worry if you change your mind. I had cut that out and then pasted it back in just because I knew I wanted to keep it that way. But that's what you got there. So you can edit what that slide says. Just please don't edit this part of the code. Anything not purple needs to stay coded. It's pulling information from elsewhere in the activity. Slide 5 is uploading a picture. We're going to ask students to upload a picture, and what we're really showing them is us. So it says on the following screen, I'd like you to upload a picture. It gives them a GIF, so they'll see what they have to do, but we're not going to do that because we're on the teacher side. We need to upload this photo in advance. So right now it says this area intentionally left blank. We do not want to leave it blank. We want to edit that. So all you're going to do is click choose a file to upload, and then I'm going to add an image that I have queued up. It's got me, my son, my wife. And then you'll notice there's a little bit of text here. It says, here's me on the right. That's not very helpful if they don't know who I am. So I'm going to change this to say, here is a photo of me with my wife and our son, Ignacio. Preview. Get rid of this box. There it is. Here's a photo of me with my wife and our son, Ignacio. Maybe I don't want them to know my kid's name. Maybe I do. Well, whatever you write here is going to be what displays. With our son. There it is. So you can edit that text as much as you'd like. Just that here is the photo part. This text explained to the students how they're going to add on that next screen, which is right here. So they have to use this plus an image button. I'll walk through that at the end. The next slide that has a light bulb, something to edit, is this 5 facts about you. And when I look at the teacher tip here, it says, edit the list of possible things to discuss at your discretion. And then again, check the box that says show their classmates' response in the text input. So this is where one of those is referring to. We've provided a list of prompts that might get your students thinking what they should respond to and facts about them. What's your favorite food? Who's important in your life? What are you most proud of yourself? Have you read all the Harry Potter books? Just something. But if you want to change out those questions, feel free. No offense at all taken. It's what you would do in a classroom. So if you have your go-to questions that you like to ask students, go for it. This text box is where students will be responding, and if we click show students their classmates' responses, they'll see up to 3 classmates' responses beneath them. We've by default not shared that since they're going to be telling you about themselves, but that's up to you. In slides 10, 11, and 12, there are some teacher notes, and these notes are just referring to changing out the prompt. So if you want to change these prompts, there's a document here for different questions. So by default, I put in 3 questions for this activity. And if you would like to see students' responses, it will show up to 3 peer responses. Again, up to you what you want to do. But I just put 3 standing questions from that document there. What's something you can teach others? If you could make one rule that everyone had to follow, what would you make? And what's the most impressive thing you know how to do? And we're asking them to draw a picture as well, or if they'd like to, in addition to the words that they might provide. So that's what there is to customize. I'm going to leave it as it was since I went and customized that note. I left it as a default what I had. I added the photo of myself and described it. Those are really the 2 big things that you must do. And then I decided that I was going to leave these possible things to discuss. So once I'm happy with those changes, I hit publish. Again, this is a copy that only you have access to. This does not affect everybody else's template. So now we've got a published activity. If you change your mind, you can always edit your activity. And that will affect only yours. You'll have to hit publish again to do that. But once you create a class code, anything you edit isn't going to change on that class code. So you want to make sure that this activity is squared away before you assign it to students. So I'm going to preview it just to see what a student would see, show that to you all. So the first thing was just my full name is Javier Cabezas, but I like to be called, well, I happen to like to be called Javier, but maybe there are nicknames like Javi, whatever it might be. So it's going to show up here, and it's going to ask about the preferred pronouns. This is a GIF. It just says, make sure you're signed in. You will want to make sure that students are signed in for activities that they do in our classes, because if they come back to the activity after a few days, they'll be able to recover that work. If they're not signed in, it will be lost forever. So that's not exactly true. You can still see it on the teacher side, but that student would not be able to pick up where they left off if they close that browser down, exit the tab, whatever it might be. So they want to be signed in. All they're going to do is click in the top left, that little hamburger menu, click sign in, and then sign in with Google. It'll run them through the login. Hopefully they've logged in through Clever anyway to access the Desmos activity. You'll notice that the greetings are all customized to my name based on what I input now. This is an explanation of what feedback is, which I will show you all in a little bit. That's how we're going to communicate with students back and forth based on their responses. Feedback shows up as a little kind of post-it note looking icon right up here at the top of the slide. And they might see feedback in their activity history as well. So when they're signed in, they go to student.desmos.com, it lists recent activities or all the activities they've done, and there will be a little indicator that they have some feedback if you've provided it. Here's for students, what are we doing today? Tell me, Javier, this is what we're going to do. Go to the next slide when ready. And then here's where they see the GIF of how to upload an image and the example that we have already created. So far things are looking great with what we customized. This pulled the information that they provided on screen 1 into here. I'm going to follow the directions, and I'm just going to pull up the HCPS logo. Yikes, that didn't format correctly. Well, students can just click on the image and adjust the size to be able to get the dimensions to look more or less correct. So they can drag it around, put it wherever they want to. It doesn't matter. On the teacher side, you'll be able to see what they've done in that window. Here they might answer the facts about themselves. I have read all of the Harry Potter books. I want to follow though anything about me. So here's a little bit of trivia for you all about me. I have a flavor named after me at Mr. Yogato in DC, a little frozen yogurt restaurant in DC there. So they filled all of this out and hit submit. If they don't hit submit, they won't be able to see other classmates' responses, but you on the teacher side can still see theirs. Prompt 1, what students see once they choose. This is a cool little interactive that we built. So what's your favorite day of the week? You must choose only one. Whatever they choose, it's going to start creating a histogram here, but it's actually creating a histogram of all of the students in the class. So I imagine that Friday and Saturday will be quite popular. We're going to ask them, why do you like that day so much? And you'll see that that text changes dynamically based on what I've selected here. So why do you like Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, etc. This will aggregate again across all of the class. So you should start to see the bar graphs fill up relatively real time. I mean, you'll notice that it's changing as I do it here. As all of our classmates start to respond, that will show up. So you might want to paste it just to this one right here. Notice what's happening in the class. Prompt 2, what's your favorite season? Again, whatever they select is going to create a custom prompt. So tell me about your drawing and why the summer is your favorite. Tell me about the fall, the winter, the spring, whatever it might be. And then students can draw here. So I'm going to draw a horrible sun, although that's better than I've done in the past. That's great. I am not a great artist. Does this even look like a sun? I don't know. That's pretty decent. And so you get the idea. Students will be able to draw you a picture. Why is the summer my favorite? I get to go to the, again, a non-math way, but they're experiencing some of the tools that they will utilize in the math classroom throughout the year. And then more of the same, answering the questions, answer here, edit, and they can draw whatever they're going to draw to help answer that. And those are ones that are customizable. So that's a little bit about what students will see. In order to do that, you're going to create a class code for them. This will generate a teacher dashboard for you. When you click View Dashboard, you will get a link. This is a link that you will share with students. So copy that link. I'm going to paste it right here. I'm signed in now with my account. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try to do this as a student and then provide feedback so that you can see it. So over here, now I'm going back and forth between the two. On the teacher dashboard side, you'll see that Javier Cabezas has joined the class and he's on slide 1. I can control that pacing, so I'm going to pace it so that my students can go all the way 1 through 6. So a student, pupil. Now that's the way you can know on the teacher dashboard side that this is what's happening. It's going to pull that preferred name right there. I can go slide 2, slide 3, tell me what we're doing, slide 4. Oh, my teacher wants me to upload a picture. Great, I'll find a picture and upload it. Let me find some other picture that I have here that I can do. And I don't have any great pictures on this work computer, so I'll just pull up the HCPS logo again. Sorry, I'm doing the same example. But let's say that that's what I've got. Well, I can't go on. Wait for your teacher to allow you to move on to the next screen. So on the teacher dashboard side, this is what I see. I can see that I've got my student over there on slide 6. There was nothing really for them to do, but if I want to see what my student did say, whoops, back from summary, I can click in to see the individual responses. If I click on that teacher tab, I would see more students as well, so I can see that I've got Javier Cabezas. I'd recommend that you anonymize. It'll assign a famous mathematician to your students. So you would be able, if you hover, you can spotlight who is really signed in. But that way, in those share student peer answers, students wouldn't be seeing who else responded. It wouldn't display if you were sharing your screen. It would just anonymize the whole class for this activity into that name. So yeah, you can start to see what students have done. Uploading a picture, so this is what they've uploaded. This might just be a way to help you get names and faces together with some personality involved. I'm going to edit the pacing. I'm going to restrict everybody to screen 7. So now my student, who was not able to advance before, can only be on screen 7. And this is where I want them to enter facts. So I'm going to do Froyo. I've sent in something. On the teacher side, I can see that I have a response from this student. I'm going to provide feedback. I click that little icon at the top. You'll notice there was nothing here for the student. There had not been anything up here. So they'll have submitted this, and I'll say, that's so cool that you've read Harry Potter. My family dresses up as HP characters every Halloween. I provide that feedback because I'm just getting to know my student. They get a notification. Here it is. They could click it to see it. So on the teacher dashboard side, I can see that my student has never viewed my feedback because it's green. I'm going to stop pacing. Actually, I'm going to force it to slide 8 and then stop pacing. So no matter what slide they're on, oh, what's this? I've got feedback from my teacher. When I click it, it tells me what the feedback is and what screen it happened on. So that's so cool that you read Harry Potter. My family dresses up as Harry Potter characters every Halloween. Wow, my teacher likes Harry Potter too. How great is that? I'm going to really enjoy hanging out with Mr. Cabezas online for math class this year. If they want to go to the screen, they can see what I'm referring to, and then they can navigate back to wherever they need to go. So for feedback to work, it does need to be paced that you can see it. So anytime that you're maybe advancing the days, you might want to provide feedback, or sorry, to pace all the way up until the current day that your students are working on. And that would be it. So then here on the second day, that prompt 1, they would choose what they had. And again, this will display their class totals. Why do they like Monday so much? And then I'll have another opportunity to go in here and provide feedback once I have a response. So here I could provide more feedback. It picks up in the same window. Days and Mondays always get me down. Now my student will see that, so we can have this little dialogue. As the school year goes on, this feedback might be very useful to provide actual content feedback for students along the way. Misconceptions they may have had, reinforcements about what they're doing, what they're thinking that's going well, whatever it might be. So I hope you found this useful, how to utilize it with your students, how to customize it. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Again, Once you've created that class code and you've customized that activity, when you're in the teacher.desmos.com side of house, now I don't know where that activity went. So the one that you edited is going to show up in custom. So you can see I was practicing lots of times. This is the one that I ended up doing just now with you all. And then when you click into it, that's where you can see dashboards. The other way to get to dashboards is just to go straight to history, and it shows you when you did different activities. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're excited to see how this year starts out, and we hope that this can be one activity, one thing to help you have a positive start to the 2020-21 school year. Thanks so much. Have a good day.